Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, Senna, and good morning to your team and to all those listening to you live and online. My greetings to them from Tamale.
I hope you're well, Prof.
I'm okay. It's a bit, the weather is not favorable here, but we are used to it. We are coping with it.
Is it worse than it normally is, or is it the same?
No, I think it's worse, and obviously for the fact that there's global warming, climate change, all those issues are reality. So we are experiencing it in a very intense, more serious as far as the heat is concerned.
And thank you once again for speaking to us. Of course, President Mahama came to power on the back of some promises he made. He said within 120 days I'll be able to do this specific things. One of them involves the removal of some taxes. First of all, what do you make of the fact that he's now fulfilled those promises?
Yes, once again, thank you. I think this is one of the low-hanging fruits that the President, His Excellency John Mahama, has to pluck, and then to keep the confidence and the trust that Ghanaians have in him as a result voted for him. Yes, taxes are very important, and sometimes even it is viewed as one of the indicators of the capacity of a state. A state should be able to collect taxes, which it must then use to implement certain developmental projects. So taxes are a key component of the capacity of a state. But the fact that some taxes are so unreasonable and regressive to the extent that they hurt the poor while the rich might be let off the hook with tax incentives like in the mining areas. It's one of the problems or one of the bad governance that we experienced in the previous government. Because while they were concerned to levy all kinds of taxes that affected the poor, they were also giving, just doling out very juicy tax incentives to companies. How can you explain this irony of a state rather, putting a lot of burden on already poor people who are struggling for survival, and then giving tax incentives in millions and sometimes billions of dollars to certain companies? So I'm thinking that this is what the right thing to do. He promised that he would do these things, and we know the reason why politicians are often viewed in the negative light. People call them dishonest. Some people even call them thieves, liars, is because they say one thing and do the other thing when they are in power. So the fact that he has been able to fulfill this promise to the people of Ghana within the first 120 days is really going and complying with the social contract that he has with the people of Ghana. And I'm really, really happy that he has signed these tax reliefs and the cancellation of the tax into law. This is really good news for the poor and the marginalized in society in Ghana.
You call them low-hanging fruits. Is there a particular reason you think they are low-hanging fruits?
Yes, because you don't really need to labor the point that these taxes are regressive by the burden that they put on the poor, they are clearly regressive taxes and to some extent unreasonable. So you, as a president, you just need to get the bill through Parliament, and then it comes to your table and you sign. And your conscience is clear that you are doing the right thing. Some people will ask, how is he going to raise taxes to, fulfill other promises when he's removing taxes that are supposed to be the source of funding for these projects that he promised. But that can be addressed with the other taxes. Try to segregate the society and into classes. Who are the poorest? And what taxes do they pay? Who are the wealthiest, the people in society? And what taxes do they pay? What is the extent of environmental pollution that each of these segments of society cause to the environment? And based on that, you see where you put, you raise money for various purposes, including taxes to reduce environmental pollution. That's the reason why I consider these taxes that he has removed as low-hanging fruits.
And you're just talking about the difficulties that confront Ghana. In fact, there are many people even in the opposition who said, just go back to the people, tell them that I know I made this promise to you, but there are lots of debts on my neck to pay. And of course, Ghanaians will understand, so that they can keep those taxes on and take the monies that are from them to be able to fulfill some of the, especially the issues when it comes to debt repayments, servicing, amortization, among others. That is the move he should have gone for. That he should have gone for this situation where he's actually losing revenue that he could have used to settle most of those commitments that are on his neck. What do you say to those who still insist that this was not the best move to make in early days?
Oh, that advice or strategy is just would have been suicidal if he had gone on that route, because he made these promises, and I think he definitely factored the other projects, the way the economy is in troubled waters and all that. He would have factored all those things into his the promises that he made. So I think if he had not fulfilled these promises, the trust that Ghanaians have in him, for which reason they voted for him, would have been completely blown. So I think, yes, the economy is in trouble, but there are other ways by which he can deal with it. And some of them is the fact that he has cut down the number of government appointees and ministers. Another way he's doing this is by cutting down the certain unnecessary expenditures. And above all, if I have to really be very emphatic, is the fight against corruption and the efforts to recover the loot. So now, if he's able to recover even half of what is alleged to have been looted by the previous government appointees, I think it will just wipe out all the deficit from the cancellation or the removal of these taxes. So I think he has to be very, very forceful in trying to recover the billions of dollars that have been looted by the previous government appointees or alleged to have been looted. And there are very good reasons why we should not think that these are mere allegations. So I think a lot can be done in recovering money from that source, and corruption, rather than lack of money from taxes is the main reason why the economy was put into this crisis. So I think he's able to also plug that corruption loophole and make sure that there's no more such serious corruption issues. Then that means a lot of money would have been sent to where it's supposed to be sent, and to be spent on the important projects that are needed to improve the lives of ordinary people. Because sometimes I always argue that why do we think that taxes, just collecting the taxes is the important thing? It is the prudence with which the taxes are used, value for money, transparency. These are the issues that we should look at. Because most often you see taxes being collected, but you do not see development that is commensurate with the amount of money that has been collected from the taxes. And when you add the amount of debt that politicians have racked up for future generations and compare that to the level of development in terms of human development, infrastructure development, then you see that there is a big gap between money that has come to the state and the development that it's supposed to bring. So I see this to be the most important, factor in the way state resources are managed. That is the most important factor, rather than just the fact that the government must collect taxes. I mean that shouldn't be the measuring rod for whether to collect certain taxes or not.
And you did contrast the targets of these taxes. So you're talking about who these taxes affected the most. You say majority the poor. So from e-levy to betting tax, among others, all usually said affect the poor. Contrast that with their decision to go with the mining company, increase the growth and sustainability levy by 1.5%. But the mining companies are not happy. They said that it will have an effect on them.
Yes, and that's what any progressive government, like the NDC, that claims to be on the center of left or social democratic, this is what they should be doing. I mean, businesses will complain, mining companies will complain, petroleum companies will complain, because this is eating into their huge profits. And for them, profits are the most important thing to society and to them. This is a class issue. So if you are a social democratic government, you have to really do a kind of class segmentation of the society, and then go for the profits of those wealthy companies and individuals. It's not saying they shouldn't make profits, but if sometimes you look at the amount of money that is made in profit and the cost in terms of environmental damage, global warming, climate change, you cannot then justify why the poor should be paying certain taxes. And then oil and mining companies and other businesses are giving tax incentives, apparently with the banal excuse that if you don't do that, they will not invest in Ghana. They shouldn't invest in Ghana. I mean, they know that there's profit to make. That's why they are here. I can tell you that they will never go anywhere because they know that there's profit in this business. So that's the right thing to do. Go for the class that makes the most profit in this country and that causes the most damage to the environment, and then use those taxes to improve the lives of those who are not so fortunate, those who are struggling just for 3 meals in a day, that is the way to go. And then you will be seen to be a real social democratic government. If the Ghanaians like it that way, they will continue voting for you. If they don't like it that way, that is your ideology. So be it. In any case, majority of Ghanaians are the poor. And I'm sure they will be happy with this. So, I mean, this elitist claim that trying to tax mining companies will create an investment environment that is not conducive for to attract business or mining capital or oil capital. It doesn't really fly. I mean, when you look at it, they are here. There's a reason why they are here, and they know that here they can make a lot of profit. That's why they are coming in. So I think this is the right thing to do. Take taxes out. I mean, give tax relief to the poor, and then put a lot of taxes on the rich. I mean, this is what a social democratic government should do.
Well, Prof, thank you very much for speaking to us on that note. But before you go, where do you stand on suggestions that there's a need to allow some form of private sector partnership in the electricity company of Ghana? There are those who are suggesting outright privatization. There are those who are saying, let's just find a way. Why don't we introduce private players into the electricity distribution chain? There are those who say privatize other aspects of the work of ECG, maybe metering, among others. Where do you stand? Is there a place? Is it something you are comfortable with? What do you think?
Yeah, this is a good question and a very difficult one. If you look at the history of state enterprises in Ghana, the history is not encouraging at all when it comes to their ability to stay and just even to just be able to make the minimum profits that they can stay on their own and deliver services efficiently. There's a reason for that, and the reason being that the same attitude of seeing government as a source to enrich oneself or a source to employ even personnel that are not needed, and a source for funneling money to private pockets. All these are the reasons why we are where we are with government or state enterprises in Ghana. We look at the Ghana Airways. I mean, it just collapsed. It looks like no state enterprise is really doing well. And when it comes to electricity company, you can see that, I mean, their services are just terrible. I mean, you can't imagine how a company that has that huge market will be making losses. So I am in a dilemma as to what to say as somebody who believes that a government must intervene in certain essential areas of the economy that are important to delivering services, not necessarily on fantastic profit basis, but just to be able to deliver those services. And electricity company is one of those areas or services that I would have advocated that it should be nationalized. But considering the history, unless a government is determined and is able to really plug these loopholes, to be sure that you employ the right people, the right managers, so that they ensure efficiency, value for money, good governance, and all that. you'll be advocating for nationalization and all those things just to bring a lot of difficulties to Ghanaians, because many people will prefer to pay and then get the services rather than